Hey there, fellow Americans. Today, we've got explosive news that's shaking up the financial landscape across the nation. Donald Trump has just made waves by signing off on $2,400 checks, but here's the kicker: millions of Americans are finding themselves on the outside looking in. But before we dive deep into this game-changing development, if you want to stay ahead of the latest financial news and policy changes that directly impact your wallet, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. You won't want to miss our daily updates on everything that affects your financial future. Now, let me ask you something: have you been struggling to make ends meet in this challenging economy? Are you one of the countless Americans wondering if help is finally on the way? Well, the latest development from Trump's camp has stirred up both hope and controversy across the nation. The former president has just put his signature on a measure that promises $2,400 checks to eligible Americans, but there's more to this story than meets the eye. Let's break down exactly what this means for you and your family. The $2,400 checks are part of a broader initiative aimed at providing economic relief to specific segments of the American population. But here's where things get complicated and why millions of Americans are finding themselves excluded from this financial lifeline. Have you ever wondered why some relief programs seem to help certain groups while leaving others behind? This is exactly what we're seeing with this latest development. The criteria for receiving these checks are surprisingly stringent. Unlike previous stimulus payments that cast a wider net, these new checks are targeting a very specific demographic. Think about this: what makes some Americans more deserving of financial assistance than others? It's a question that's sparking heated debates across social media and in Washington's corridors of power. The income thresholds for these payments are particularly noteworthy. Those earning above certain levels are automatically disqualified, but it's not just about income. There are other qualifying factors that many Americans are finding impossible to meet. For instance, did you know that your tax filing status from previous years could affect your eligibility? It's these kinds of details that are leaving millions of frustrated Americans wondering why they've been left out in the cold. But here's something even more interesting: the timing of these checks couldn't be more significant. With election season approaching and economic pressures mounting, many are questioning the political motivations behind this move. Is this genuinely about helping Americans in need, or is there more to the story? These are the questions we need to be asking. The distribution process for these checks is another crucial aspect that's raising eyebrows. Unlike previous stimulus payments that went out relatively quickly, this program has a more complex rollout plan. Have you considered how long it might take for eligible recipients to actually see this money in their accounts? The timeline might surprise you. Let's talk about the economic impact of these checks. While $2,400 might seem like a significant amount, we need to consider the current inflation rates and rising costs of living. Is this amount enough to make a real difference for struggling families? And what about those who won't receive anything at all? How are they expected to cope with ongoing financial pressures? The exclusion criteria are particularly controversial. For example, certain categories of workers, including some gig economy employees and independent contractors, might find themselves ineligible. Does this seem fair in an economy where non-traditional employment is increasingly common? It's a question worth pondering. The application process itself has become a source of frustration for many. Those who do qualify are facing a bureaucratic maze that can be challenging to navigate. Have you ever tried to wade through government paperwork during a time of crisis? It's not exactly a walk in the park, and many eligible Americans might miss out simply due to the complexity of the process. But there's more to consider here. The long-term implications of these targeted relief payments could be far-reaching. How will this affect future relief programs? Will this set a precedent for more selective assistance in the future? These are questions that economists and policy experts are already debating. The response from various state governments has added another layer of complexity to the situation. Some states are supplementing these federal payments with their own assistance programs, while others are taking a hands-off approach. Have you checked what additional support might be available in your state? Critics of the program point to its limited scope and argue that it doesn't do enough to address the underlying economic challenges facing many Americans. They're asking tough questions about wealth inequality and the effectiveness of targeted relief measures. Are they right? Should we be thinking bigger when it comes to economic assistance? Meanwhile, supporters of the program argue that it's a fiscally responsible approach to providing aid where it's needed most. They point to budget constraints and the need to maintain economic stability. But does this argument hold water when millions of Americans are struggling to put food on the table? The impact on small businesses is another crucial aspect of this story. Many business owners fall into the category of Americans who won't receive these checks, despite facing ongoing challenges in the current economic climate. How will this affect the backbone of our economy, the small business sector? Looking at the bigger picture, we need to consider how this program fits into the broader landscape of economic recovery efforts. Is this a step in the right direction, or are we missing opportunities to create more meaningful change? The answers to these questions could shape economic policy for years to come. For those who do qualify for the checks, there are important steps to take to ensure they receive their payment. The process isn't automatic, and missing crucial deadlines could mean missing out entirely. Have you checked your eligibility and taken the necessary steps to secure your payment? The role of financial institutions in distributing these payments has also come under scrutiny. Some banks are processing payments more quickly than others, leading to questions about fairness and efficiency in the distribution system. Is your bank prepared to handle these payments promptly? As we wrap up this breaking news update, let's consider what this means for the future of economic assistance in America. Will we see more targeted programs like this, or will there be a shift toward more inclusive relief measures? The answers to these questions could shape the financial future of millions of Americans. Remember, staying informed about these developments is crucial for your financial well-being. That's why I'm urging you once again to subscribe to our channel and join our community of informed citizens. We're here to break down these complex issues and help you understand exactly how they affect you and your family. From analyzing the latest policy changes to providing practical advice on navigating relief programs, we're committed to keeping you informed and prepared. Hit that subscribe button now, and let's navigate these challenging economic times together. And don't forget to share this video with friends and family who might be affected by these developments. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to financial matters. Stay tuned for our upcoming videos where we'll dive even deeper into specific aspects of this program and explore other financial developments that could impact your wallet. Until next time, keep asking questions, stay informed, and remember, we're all in this together.